In the Giants' 100th season, they lost 14 games, the most they ever have in their franchise's history. And they didn't make any changes on the staff until today, and it was a really smart move that Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen made. We're going to break that down in a second, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because the offseason brings a lot of breaking news scenarios, and I don't want you to miss it. So subscribe and turn your notifications on and get multiple free videos every day on everything surrounding the Giants. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and the news of the day for this organization is that they have fired longtime defensive back coach Jerome Henderson. And I believe this is a smart move by this football team. This is a team that has drafted 10 DBs since 2020, and none of them have really made their impact on this team. And I think we can all agree the Giants' pass defense has struggled since he has been here and joined this team in 2020 when Joe Judge hired him when he became a part of this staff. So he's been here for a while, 5 seasons as the defensive back coach, but it was this year where he was elevated to also adding more onto his plate, and he was named the pass game coordinator. He had done that in the past at other stops in his career, but this was the first time he did it with the New York Giants. And we'll show you the numbers, and we'll talk about how the Giants' pass defense wasn't really all that much of a problem this year, mainly because they couldn't stop anybody in the run. But I believe this was a move that the Giants made to develop and help some of these younger DBs reach their potential. We've talked about it. They've added 10 DBs via the draft since 2020. Guys like Deonte Banks, guys like Cor'Dale Flott that have simply just not lived up to expectations. You go all the way back to when he first got here, and I'm not saying he had a lot of major say-so in the draft picks, but it is your job as the position coach to develop these guys. And he did a good job with Xavier McKinney, but he was also an Alabama safety that is now an all-pro on his second team. Darnay Holmes, a 4th-round pick, didn't work out. Chris Williamson, you're throwing a dart in the 7th round, but still didn't work out. Aaron Robinson, injuries got in the way, so it's hard to really judge that one. Rodarius Williams, it didn't work out as a 6th-round pick. Cor'Dale Flott, I think, has been average at best, and for a 3rd-round pick that was number 81 overall, I'm expecting a little bit more contribution from him. Dane Belton, a 4th-round pick in 2022, he's been really shaky, and I wouldn't say all that good. Deonte Banks, we'll talk about him later. He has really struggled. Trey Hawkins is no good. And Javarius Owens is already off the football team. Again, he didn't draft these guys, but as a position coach, it's your job to develop them. And you added 2 more DBs. So really, you've drafted 12 DBs since 2020. And you added Tyler Nubin in the 2nd round this year and Andrew Phillips in the 3rd round. Both of these guys have potential. Both of these guys needs to be hits for the Giants to get to where they want to go quicker instead of taking the longer path traveled. You cannot have Tyler Nubin, a 2nd-round pick, go into a sophomore slump, even though he didn't even set the bar that high his rookie year. And Andrew Phillips, who played well, you need him to continue to play well, and you need him to develop. But the main thing that I need this new defensive back coach and maybe even pass game coordinator to do is find a way to tap into the potential of Deonte Banks. He was a 1st-round pick. He was a guy that you traded up for in the 1st round. And he wasn't all that good his rookie year, but I chalk that up to rookie struggles. And he had some moments like that pass breakup in the game against the Green Bay Packers. He had an interception, a couple of interceptions last year. This year, though, he did not play well. 0 interceptions, and he missed time because of injury. A lot of reasons that could be, but this next guy needs to be a teacher. This next guy needs to be a coach that can develop young talent. You need Deonte Banks to be a player. You need Cor'Dale Flott to take another step. You need Andrew Phillips to be good. You need Tyler Nubin to be a success. That is why I believe that Jerome Henderson has been fired. Because the pass defense overall statistically and relative to the other 31 teams in the NFL hasn't just been awful, but it's really about the lack of growth from some of these young players and not a single one of them emerging or overproducing from their draft stock. I didn't love how the Giants defense was second to last in the NFL in overall interceptions this year. I don't know if that's more Bowen or Henderson, because last year under Wing Martindale, they had the 3rd most interceptions. But overall, if Shane Bowen is going to stay, if he's going to be this Giants defensive coordinator next year, he needs to go out and get his guy, whoever that is. In 2023, The defensive pass game coordinator for the Titans and cornerbacks coach was Chris Harris, former NFL player, not the Broncos Chris Harris, a different guy. But I don't know if that's his guy. There was other guys that had that role when he was the DC for the Titans. You need to go get your guy. You need to get somebody you trust, but more importantly, someone that can teach your system to these young DBs and someone that, once again, could be a leader as well as a teacher, because you got a lot of young guys that you need all to be much better if this team wants to be solid on defense in 2025. My question to you is this. What's your one-word reaction to the Giants firing Jerome Henderson? How would you smart? I feel bad. I don't want to celebrate another man being fired, but it's the nature of the beast, and today was a day that the Giants got better because of a move they made. I'll just keep it at that. Coming up next, what happened to Deonte Banks? Can Deonte Banks turn into a player in this league? Can he live up to that first-round hype? We're going to break that down in a second. First, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking to go to an NFL playoff game, better yet, if you're looking for last-minute tickets to go to an NFL playoff game, the best place to get them is with our proud sponsor, Game Time. They guarantee the best seats and the lowest price. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. They specialize in last-minute tickets. And the app will literally alert you and send you flash notifications when prices are dropping. It's also very easy to use. You get to see your seat view in the app. You get to access your tickets from your phone when you're getting into the stadium. And if you decide you don't want to go to an event anymore, it's easy to resell your tickets as well. Views from the seat, easy to decide, easy to make it to decide what seats you want to buy. And the features like all-in pricing and game time picks guarantee you're going to get the best seats for the lowest price, guaranteed. It's more than just NFL playoff games. You go to an NBA game, you go to a concert, you go to a theater event. Anywhere that they're selling tickets for an event, you can get it with Game Time. So download the app, create an account, use that promo code ChatSports. It's CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase, where terms do apply. All that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. A sophomore slump is what it was for Deonte Banks. Even though the highs of his rookie year were not that high, he absolutely took a step back in his second year in the National Football League, and that was really disappointing. He was a player the Giants could really not afford to have taken the step back that he did. You look at some of the numbers, and you watch some of the tape, and there's a lot of reasons why I think he struggled, but just to put it into perspective, he wasn't really a rock star's rookie year, and we kind of talked about that this past summer. Everyone always likes to overvalue their rookies. Of the 61 players in the NFL last year that had 444 coverage snaps, Deonte Banks ranked 56th. So 56 out of 61 in his rookie year. And of the corners who had 496 coverage snaps in his second year, he was 50 of 52. Or I have that flip. 50 of 52 in his rookie year and 56 of 61 in his second year. So he struggled in both years. I mean, when he was targeted this year, quarterbacks had an NFL passer rating of 124.7. Gave up 14 yards per catch, gave up 6 touchdowns, allowed a completion percentage of 67.1. Nothing was good enough this year for Deonte Banks. And I want to believe that he is still a player. I want to believe there is still talent that has been untapped and potential that can still be reached in this young man. Former first-round pick, a guy that a lot of people had as one of the top corners in that draft. Giants had to trade up to get him. You need your first-round picks to be good players. Could the scheme change going from Wink Martindale to Shane Bowen maybe have been the reason that Banks struggled? You know what? I'm going to hope it is the reason they struggled, because if it was just that he's not a good football player, well, we got bigger problems to talk about. So maybe it was the fact that the Giants went under Wink Martindale, one of the most man-heavy coverage systems, to Shane Bowen, who was a lot more, I would say, soft in his coverage. Didn't play press man coverage. Barely played man coverage nearly as much as the Giants did in 2023. They ran zone, though, 63.7% of the time, which was 21st in the NFL this year, and they ran man 28% of the time, which was 11th most in 2024, whereas in 2023, they ran zone coverage 30th ranked, and they had the man coverage ranked at 3rd. So this is a team this year that played a lot more zone coverage than they did last year, and Deonte Banks is a player that needs to be in a man coverage system. He is a press man corner. This guy at 6'2", 200 pounds, runs a 4.4 40. He's got all the attributes and the ability to do so. But I think they got to find a scheme that he fits in a little bit more. On top of that, his effort sucked this year. Deonte Banks multiple times gave lousy effort for the New York Giants. It started with that play against CeeDee Lamb, and it also ended later on in the season where he gave no effort at all to chase down the rushing quarterback. A lot of effort this year was questionable for Deonte Banks. I can't put up with that. I could put up with you struggling in year 2, but the effort's got to be better. And the Giants need to be a good football player. Simple as that. Good organizations are good in this league because they have talent in their first-round draft picks. Those guys produce. You can't be a GM in Joe Schoen who misses on Evan Neal and misses on Deonte Banks and hits 50% with Kayvon Thibodeau and then hits a home run with Malik Neighbors. You need more hits. And I think Deonte Banks can still be a hit in this league, but he's got to do it, and it's got to happen quickly. What's your confidence level in it? Scale 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident. 10, you got the most confidence in the world in him. Let me know in the comments section. And if you haven't yet, give me a follow on social media. I'm on Twitter @MarshallGreen_. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_. So hit me up and let's go Big Blue.